lost out on a Baron. They even made a very bad Dragon play where they got flanked by a Hecarim and completely torn apart. If they want to consistently win, they need to be able to get these parts of their game under control.
Yeah, we'll see what they can get done here in Game 2. Maybe they can find some improvement, but Gamtee have swapped over there on the blue side. Now King now over on the red for the second game. Kalista Rek'Sai the bands there for Gamtee. Slight adaptation there with the Rek'Sai being taken away from MLXG. And LeBlanc Sejuani there, the two bans for King. Same as Game 1.
And that's surprising me that Huey doesn't want to play the Rek'Sai. We've just seen that it's still strong. Even with a tank build, it gets a lot of work done. MLXG had an absolute stellar performance on that one, was probably the MVP for me. So I'm really interested that that isn't first pickable.
And Urgot Azir, the same bans as Game 1, so only the Rek'Sai ban changed, I believe, and the ban they've left out, it's MLXG's Rengar.
Yeah, exactly right. So he's going to be able to pick that one up if he wants, but I'm expecting for this to be the Hecarim one more time coming through for Let Me. It's just shown that that's probably the champion that he has the biggest premium on.
Yeah, he's looked great even in that last game that they lost. Almost found enough flanks to get his team back into the game, but might take a jungler away instead here, will Gamtee. We'll give them 10 more seconds left till they decide here. Curious to see what they want to go with here. They might just lock in the Nunu first pick.
Yeah, Nunu first pick is something I thought that we would see an absolute heap of. It's just a very strong jungler at the moment. He gets tanky, does a lot with your hyper carries, does a lot to control the enemy hyper carries, so I think he's a fantastic pick on the current patch. They're going to pick that one up for Huey.
Yeah, and Liam getting his Janna insta-locked there by Sky, so they'll take that away, presumably for their support pick. MLXG still deciding what's King. Are they seriously going to do this again?
Yeah, so this is where I don't agree with it. Vayne, if she gets a Nunu snowball, is just going to drop her damage so high, and it's one of those things that it's extremely worrisome to play hyper carries into Nunu. It just doesn't do fantastic. However, in saying that, the Vayne Lucian matchup, very good in Vayne's favor. You can actually tumble out of the piercing line.
Yeah, Vayne weirdly good against a lot of the former popular AD carries. We expected Kog'Maw to be a troublesome matchup potentially, but we were able to navigate it quite nicely in the bottom lane instead with a lot of help from MLXG actually. So be interested to see what jungler he gets as far as pressure goes. We've got the Nami locked in for Zinc Dream, and yeah, Tail's going to take Lucian this time.
So that's a bully lane coming through there with the Tides Call of Blessing. The double tap Light Slinger proc going to come through and do mass damage early on. Expect that one to be maybe even maxed in the lane if they can afford to do so.
Yeah, I just want to maybe go back to the Nunu pick here. I agree, it's so hard for Vayne. I mean, hyper carries in general don't like Nunu when he's on top of them, but it's even worse for Vayne because she's so short range. Every time we tumble, you're just going to keep going in and out of the Nunu ultimate.
Yeah, exactly right. So you can't get out of the ultimate. You can disrupt it, but if you use that, then he just wanders back towards you and chucks another snowball. It's kind of funny to watch exactly how the matchup goes. But Elise being locked in for MLXG, a jungler that, as the tanky medic comes through, we expect to see more and more of just because of the double percentage health damage.
Yeah, so good at exploiting these slower junglers as well. Going to be quite hard to keep tabs on Nunu and keep him down. He's pretty resilient, but if MLXG can do it, Elise is a great pick, and it's kind of similar to Rengar, very pick-oriented, but just a little bit more focused power in the early game.
Yeah, and I like what you pointed out there because Elise and Nunu very similar in the way that they jungle. It's just the fact that Nunu, what he makes up, when he goes into the enemy jungle, he's looking to grab some camps and counter jungle. At least when she goes in there, she's just looking to kill someone and really try and force the pressure like that. Both move extremely quickly around. And with the repel as well as a blood boil, escape from sticky situations relatively easily.
Yeah, Gamtee unfortunately break my heart there. Tail thought about Tristana, but haven't seen much of her since the changes to her quite a while ago. It's Jinx instead there for Tail. Great hyper carry to complement the Nunu, Nami, and now Lulu that was their last pick as well. So all in on Tail once again.
Yeah, it certainly is, but that is a mid Lucian.
Oh, that is a mid Lucian. Awesome.
Interesting. So we actually saw a lot of this in Oceania being played a season ago, back when you could just get all the CDR in the world and use your ultimate on cooldown to just siege up turrets. Lucian's very good as a second AD carry in sieges because of his wave clear and how he can force people away with that ultimate. So it's an interesting adaptation coming through here. Probably going to be a Lulu top, although if Let Me... Okay.
Yeah, it is a loot top.
Cool.
Yeah, nothing crazy happening there. Xiaohu will be taking the Lucian. Makes sense. Suits his playstyle, certainly. Assassin back on Vladimir. That was the last pick there for King. And we've actually got the exact same comp for King with just the jungle change after the Rexo ban. At least very similar, though.
Yeah, it certainly is. It has the kit to be able to gap close with the repel onto a target and be able to stun them up with a cocoon. So I think that Elise going to be able to fulfill the exact same thing, maybe even a little bit stronger as the game goes on.
Yeah, we actually saw the Aurelia hover, and never mind, we'll talk about it later. As here are matchups. Very interesting comp for Gamtee, very double AD focus with 3 different supports. Lulu versus Sion's our first matchup in the top lane.
Yeah, so Lulu going to try and bully a Sion. Good luck. I don't know how that one's going to work out. But the Nunu versus the Elise, you feel if they're going to win, it's off the back of that one right there. Huey needs to get busy.
Yeah, and now Lucian mid for Xiaohu versus Assassin's Vladimir in the mid lane. You have to think Lucian in almost any matchup is going to be ahead in the early stages, but Assassin, we saw it once he gets scaling, team fights wonderfully, and hyper carry matchups in the bottom as well. This is a struggle for Vayne once again.
Yeah, it certainly is. It's almost like they locked in the Lucian, went, wow, that's a losing matchup, and then we went, hang on a second, we can go Jinx Nami. That's a winning matchup there. So once again, Lucian Lamb should dodge the lane. If they've shown us anything, it's that King won't dodge the lane.
Yeah, no, Nami Jana there coming through again for King. So very weak duo lane, but they did it before into the Kog'Maw Nami, was it? No, it wasn't Kog'Maw Nami. That would have been ridiculous.
Yeah, it would have been crazy.
It was into Kog'Maw, though. Kog'Maw Cannon, thank you very much. And that worked out somehow. Again, it was a lot of jungle pressure, so expect both Huey and MLXG to be big impact here in this game.
Yeah, and I want to see if the Q-Max comes through again from the Whoosh.
We'll have to find out for Whoosh. He's going to go back on his Vayne. We're about to get into game 2. And welcome almost back onto the Rift here to see some shots of the lovely Chinese crowd. Gamtee versus King here as Huey. Oh god, that noise.
Chinese Nunu bot is way more overpowered than NA client Nunu bot.
Yes,
it's next level pastry
It is
time.
next level. And Huey, maybe that's why he went for it here. That is one hell of a laugh, if we can put it out that way. And MLXG and Huey gonna battle a bit here, and again, Nunu just not gonna stop.
He's having a chuckle, and why wouldn't you? As we said, probably
so
one of the more fun seasons. Oh, he gets a award as well. Now he really has something to laugh about.
There we go. I'm going to walk back in. You can still hear it going through as well, as the crowd is loving the Nunu bot there. I mean, getting the awards is a nice little win here, and we expect it again. Swaps coming through for King, but seems like they are going to stick very stubborn here this duel and going to go back into the 2v2.
Yeah, and that's crazy for me. I want to see how it works out this time. Of course, Chomper's Bubble is such a good lockdown CC. Throw in a slow, and I'm really mad at the Chinese observer right now. Get away from the Nunu.
Well, Nunu having some fun here. Huey will start on his grunt, move into the blue. Xiaohu now in his mid lane matchup. And how do you think this matchup goes here? Lucian versus Vladimir.
Yeah, I'm going to say that Vladimir is just going to get ahead at about the level 5 mark and probably never look back. Being resourceless means that he's a much better wave clear champion than what Lucian is in the 1v1. But if anything, Lucian can bully the lane early, and that's where Vlad really struggles. So I'm looking for him to get aggressive, put some extra points into maybe even the E to get some mobility up and be able to punish with the double tap.
And we can see now, again, the 2v2 starts in. Whoosh gets a few early creeps, but Tail going to start clearing things out with his rocket. Had one small creep taken away by King on their blue buff, and Gamtee took the whole Krug camp. So early advantage will be for level 2 here for Gamtee.
Yeah, it certainly will be. So they're going to have to try and push up. It's so hard for Vayne in this matchup because you kind of stand on the caster creeps, and Jinx just throws rockets at you, pushes the lane, and harasses you at the same time. Of course, no AoE coming through for the Vayne means they're going to struggle a lot in the lane. And Assassin, he's CSing very well under the turret, but was pushed in early.
Yeah, beautiful stuff there. But Xiaohu getting aggressive early like he should be there on the mid Lucian. Important to note, no combat summoner really there for Assassin. Double mobility once again. So Xiaohu, no Ignite, actually going to go heal for a bit more defense. I guess helps the late game team fighting or mid game team fighting as well. But going to struggle with some kill pressure there.
Yeah, certainly is. And what that means is that Sync Dream had to take Ignite. So there's no exhaust for either the Vlad or the Vayne, which is an interesting pickup. Maybe just relying on the Nunu to be kind of the quasi-exhaust for them, running in there with the snowballs, with the absolute zero. But so far, we've seen Oh, MLXG going for an early invade. He's back behind them. Wasn't spotted.
Nice.
What a good early gang.
Really nice wraparound here from MLXG. Going to come in. Got his abilities ready to go. Who's he going to try and get? Actually misses both of them. And now gets aggressed on, but jumps on the tail. Has the red buff there as well. Shield for lane, but that went horribly wrong.
Yeah, it went a little bit wrong, but MLXG still chunked him out. And if you're going to swap health with everyone, better off to be the AD carry. So I like the prioritization of Tail, because now he hasn't got his health potion. Going to have a little bit of a harder time in lane. Draw some of Sync Dream's mana out, which might help the bullying.
And we'll see what happens. Good CSing under turret though, as Jana helping out nicely. Wish able to CS in this situation. Gets almost all the creeps down. Again, staying even against the Jinx. It was going to be hard against Kog'Maw. It'll be even tougher against Jinx.
Yeah, it certainly will. And you see Huey having a bit of a drive by Nunu. Early gank's not amazing in the shorter lane, much better in the long lane, but you can see they're both pushed up at the moment. So Huey really needs to get into MLXG's jungle, but MLXG, he's going for another wraparound.
Yeah, going to do it again. I think knows that the ward's dropped now as well. And very big overextension here for Gamtee. They're going to get ganked one more time. Didn't use any summoners in the last exchange, but Tail, if he gets nailed by Cocoon's in trouble. Great flash out to keep him alive. MLXG dives a bit, forcing Sync Dream to flash again, and more successful pressure.
Yeah, so double summoner spells this time around. We said he didn't get anything the first time. Second time around, gets a lot of them. Really good repeat gank here, and we're just seeing over and over again that they want to get the Vayne ahead.
Yeah, we do have a bit of a pause. Unsurprising, I guess, that you do want to snowball the lane. It's difficult but possible. And we talk about it when Vayne can't start snowballing. She's excellent in those situations. If Vayne ever gets ahead of you on lane, she just gets obnoxious, especially when she gets the Bilge Water, eventually the Blade, and then even her ultimate as well, just to keep building up advantages. One thing I love about what's happening there is that Gamtee are playing so aggressively in that bottom lane that every time MLXG comes to gank, the minion wave's in the perfect place for him to repel away from.
Yeah, definitely, and that means that he's just able to pick exactly when he wants to get in and out of the gank. Good read there from Gamtee. You know, they lost both their summoner spells, but that's been a repeat gank in the first 5 minutes, and they haven't given up a kill. Once again, though, going to call out Huey. He was taking Raptors at Nunu. I don't think he started the ward in the first place, and then he hasn't gone back to shop after his first clear. He needs to get some vision around here. Expect an early sidestone, because MLXG just seems to have the absolute answer to his jungle.
Yeah, probably double sightstone here for both junglers eventually, but we've consistently seen Nunu go machete, sightstone, and then finish their jungle item, which will likely be Cinderhawk. Probably for both of them, honestly, here, which has been very popular on Elise as well, and we have seen her. I agree, Huey is supposed to be able to keep tabs on the enemy jungler. That's his job. He doesn't gank that well. He counter jungles reasonably well, but the main thing about Nunu is walk into the jungle and tag the enemy. As we have trouble now for Sky on the top side, Xiaohu going to pop in there. Good slow from Let Me. Xiaohu coming in a great roam, actually, and he'll get first blood on mid, Lucian.
Yeah, and who would have thought ganking a no CC lane, like the Glitter Lance hasn't got that much CC with another no CC lane, but it comes out huge on the damage front, and they're able to burn through the Scion early game. That's an amazing early game.
Really strong roam there for Zhao, who gets his team first blood there. But King starting to push in now in the bottom side, and Whoosh again, sitting about 5-6 CS ahead.
Yeah, and I like the early build coming out of Xiaohu as well, if we can touch back on the Lucian a little bit as we have some blows traded. He's gone with an early Brutalizer. Expect the CDR boots to come through, maybe even into a quick Ghost Blade, and just try and snowball the game from mid, because it's such a gold-effective way to play.
MLXG lining up a dive. Assassin here as well. Not too many creeps that have to go now. Teleport will come in. Great condemn onto Tail. Knockup follows him in, and MLXG gets the kill. Vayne will flash out. Repel gets MLXG away. Assassin's already clear as well. Whoosh has to be a little bit careful, but Bubble, little too hard to tag here. Glitterlance will land, but King get away with the kill.
Yeah, so they get away with their kill. The missed Glitterlance there meant that Assassin also survived, but Gamtee, they're going to start up Dragon, and with the Nunu, with no teleport on Sky, they're probably going to be able to pick it up.
Yeah, Blood Boiled Brutalizer Lucian, not bad in this situation either. King, I guess, will trade just a kill for the Dragon, not the trade they're probably hoping for there.
Yeah, so they will get a lot of damage on top lane. Lulu does have to run all the way back up there, so it relieves some pressure on Sky, who was falling a little bit behind with that death, but all in all, good play out of Gamtee.
Yeah, Xiaohu now back in the mid lane, going to keep pressuring the creeps in. Vladimir has returned, started with the cloth armor, has come back now with a couple wards, a potion or two, and a Hextech revolver. So Assassin looking a little better in the lane now.
Yeah, he certainly is. An Assassin will continue to just farm up, so he's not really concerned about what Xiaohu's doing. You can see that he already does quite a lot of damage to Xiaohu. don't know where Xiaohu gets magic resist on in this build. Does he go for a Hex Drinker? I probably don't think so. And it's just going to mean that as the lane gets towards that level 9 spot, he's just going to start taking so much heat.
Yeah, Woosh, a good shield by Lamb though, going to dodge the rocket damage. Tail getting pushed in, but able to clear these out relatively well, catching actually slightly ahead in CS now as the waves get pushed back and forth. Very early Avarice Blade here for Tail, so really seeding the lane as far as pressure goes, but maybe just thought about last game and said, you know what, probably not going to get ahead anyway.
Yeah, probably just thinking that, yeah, maybe just had 800 gold, but he's got a couple of potions. Not going pickaxe is actually very confusing for me because he still should be able to win this game. The gold didn't go over onto Woosh. He's still up in CS, so seeding that one a little bit strange, but, you know, the banking, if they're going to go to late game anyway, may as well get it. And that's the first poacher's knife I've ever seen.
Yes, I was about to say that we haven't seen a full-on counter jungle Nunu in a while, but Huey really mixing it up. That is also the first poacher's knife I think I've ever seen in any game.
Yeah, it's just not a usual pickup. Of course, I think it gives you a burst of speed if you're able to smite away the big camp, and with 2 charges on your smite, it is a lot better, but we haven't even seen Huey in the opposition jungle, so a very strange one. I hope he knows it doesn't work on his creeps.
Yeah, no. Does get extra gold as well, I think, for taking enemy creeps. So is the big counter jungling item. When I think it was released, people probably looked to Nunu and said, you know what, this item might be good on him, but again, just not something we've ever seen in competitive. I've never seen it in my normal games, to be perfectly
here
frank
you
with
go.
you.
He's going in on the blue.
Poach it away. Can he get the blue? Doesn't have vision. Gets it down. Smite. Smite. No, can't do it. MLXG gets it. Elise stops the donation of blue, but honestly, Elise probably wanted it anyway.
Yeah, Elise definitely wanted that one. Assassin wasn't even moving across there. So in the end, Nunu had a good window to go for it, but wasn't able to get it down.
No minions poached yet. We'll have to keep track of just how many Huey can poach away there with his poacher's knife. Tail and Sync Gym down the bottom, now pushing back in, getting a lead, so things looking good despite the Avarice Blade here coming through for Tail, but we do have a gank and a teleport coming through. Sky wants to make it happen. Lamb, Flash Tornadoes, gets them both. Sky gonna line up an ulti, but a Grey Bubble might keep Sync Gym alive. Tail, though, gets caught by Cocoon, knocked out of the Decimating Smash, but the Condemns enough, and Woosh gets the kill.
Yeah, that was played surprisingly well from Sync Dream, but Tail, Lamb was all over him the whole of that time, got the slowdown, then knock up. Then the Condemn finally came through from Woosh, so they were able to pick up a kill, and a lot of pressure once again being focused in on this bottom lane.
And it makes sense. You've picked the Vayne. Her lane's traditionally just not that good, especially here against Jinx in Game 2 and even Kog'Maw in the last game. You have to give her some help here, and unfortunately, no other pressure's been found here for Gamtee on the other side of the map.
Yeah, and poor Huey right now, he's getting completely bullied, but wow.
Pops his ulti, the good repel out there, dodges the culling as well. MLXG goes around towards Assassin, who's gonna maybe look to pop the ulti, goes aggressive onto Xiaohu. Woosh here as well, Huey gets locked up, ulti hits for Tail there as MLXG goes down, and everybody else lives.
And Letme's in behind them now.
Lamb too aggressive as well, has to run away, but going to get snowballed and Glitterlance and all the other CC. Monsoon might keep him alive, but tagged by the pick. Sync Dream gets it with the bubble, and Vayne really far around, couldn't even find a 2v3.
Yeah, and I was going to, oh, she might be caught. No, will get away. I was going to say, good luck getting away from a red buff Nunu. That guy, obnoxious with the slows that come through. Just, his auto attacks do no damage, but do so much for him, of course. Refreshing that passive, making sure he can get even more snowballs out, reapplying the red buff. One of the more funny junglers to play, I'm going to say. Very entertaining.
Nunu's very funny, especially Nunu bot, who we've already discovered today. Very annoying there with the laugh in the Chinese client, even in the regular English client as well. Sky going to get the tower in the top side, so good stuff there. Let me moving back in. Actually a bit behind on CS, but nothing major. Has been moving around the map fairly well. And I mean, Wuxia almost got the blade done, but Tail's still pressuring with just an Avarice Blade.
Yeah, so he's still just sitting on that Avarice Blade. Maybe going to go back and pick up a BF sword for himself now. Needs to get it in the next minute 20, you feel, because that's when Dragon's back up. And Gamtee, they're still in this game. They've lost the first turret, but that hasn't really led to a gold advantage yet, so probably need to make sure that they stay competitive on the Dragons.
And you know what? Greedy certainly there for Tail there with the build, but now with his BF sword, the lane should look much stronger, even if Wish does have enough for the blade.
Yeah, but the problem... Oh.
Good cocoon there. Xiaohu going to get chunked out by MLXG, but trades damage very well, forcing the repeller, comes back in with the smite down as well. Xiaohu still fighting, does have the culling, little bit misangled. Now Assassin going to dive in, but flashes in aggressively, and Xiaohu baits him with the heal. Now damage coming back in, wild growth there as well. Tail gets MLXG with another rocket, and Let Me gets Assassin.
And I think that, Huey, what were you doing? He popped his ultimate in the pool, then flashed forward on top of a dead target. That was kind of weird, but the rest of the play out of Xiaohu, out of Let Me, spot on the whole way through. Only maybe the missed culling is what we should point out, but MLXG, he still fell. That's going to mean the next Dragon in 20 seconds probably goes over to Gamtee.
I have to say, we haven't seen Top Lulu in a little while. Dropped off a bit in popularity as Lamb gets caught there. Will get taken out there by Letmu, who gets another kill with the Morellonomicon Lulu. Sky will get some damage down onto Sync Dream, but Gamtee really powering now.
Yeah, they turned this one on its head. Now 2,000 gold is the advantage. They got the most important turret on the map in that mid lane. Weren't able to pick up the Dragon. They sent a couple of members back, but maybe they'll fight for it again.
Yeah, going to look to re-engage. Let me still here, waiting for his ultimate to cool back down. Might be trying to gank here onto Vayne. If he tags him with the hell picks, that true sight, very helpful. Let me going to come in there, but can't get it. Does tag in there, but will just go down as Sync Dream comes back in for the heal. Bubble goes a bit wide there as Woosh already used the ulti. Gamtee, loses a little bit of health, but still very healthy for this Dragon.
Yeah, they're giving up the Dragon. Sion's going back to the top lane. If they try and fight this without the Vayne ultimate, he's just going to get completely destroyed. So in the end, Gamtee, they grab the second one. 2 Dragons to nothing, 6 kills to 2. This is a completely different game.
Yeah, and looking strong here. I mean, we talked about Tail. Looked like he was seeding another lane to Vayne, but again, went a bit greedy with the build, able to keep even, and all of a sudden with the BF Sword should start taking over this matchup.
Yeah, definitely agree, especially with some extra points into Nami's abilities, going to be able to keep him topped up. The Tidecaller's Blessing just really is a fantastic AD carry spell as well, so looking forward to see how Sync Dream and Tail can turn this lane around. For me though, it's been all about Let Me. This time, he's just said, Sky, you can have top lane. I'm going everywhere else, trying to gank other people, being very liberal with his movement around the map and has looked much better.
Yeah, his teleports have been on point this game, and it's weird to talk about, you know, high-impact top laners teleporting in. We often think of Hecarim, even Sion using his ulti, but Let Me popping in and adding so much utility instantly to any sort of skirmish has come up trumps in so many skirmishes this game.
Yeah, it certainly has, and the ultimate is just another thing that you have to take a look at. They're a very squishy lineup, but Lulu, especially of the AP variety, just makes anyone into a tank and just doing a fantastic job.
And now trade damage coming in. Woosh in trouble, gets tagged by the ulti. Heal will save him there. But Tail going to force Vayne out of lane, finally getting traction.
Yeah, and now with the BF Sword and some points into the minigun, going to be able to rip through these turrets.
Woosh staying so aggressively here as well. Gamtee must think there's a jungler here, but MLXG is not even in the area. Tower going to go down, but they're not going to fight. Jinx gets excited, and Woosh, with some very gutsy play, does get extra CS.
Yeah, he gets some extra CS, of course, relying on Liam with his ultimate still available to be able to keep him safe. So good play there, able to get a little bit greedy. Will stay up in the CS department after this wave, but that lane, it turned very quickly.
Yeah, Lifesteal helping out nicely. Woosh going to even out the CS, but Jinx going to go back. Infinity Edge will be on the way fairly shortly. And again, the greedy Avarice Blade looking to pay off here for Tail in the early stage of the game. Going to pick up the Krugs as well with the help of Sync Dream. Getting stronger and stronger, and you know what? So's Lucian. Brutalizer into BF Sword of the early items here.
Yeah, so BF Sword being picked up, going for the Infinity Edge build, so not going into any more CDR. Oh, Woosh needs to be careful.
Yeah, damage coming in, but actually, no, just a heal there from Sync Dream. Nami, again, supplementing this lane excellently with their abilities.
And there's a lot of members out of Gamtee roaming down. Once again, don't know what Lucian's going to do. Does a lot of damage, though, at this point, so maybe just there to add some of that. They need to probably start donating red buff across even onto the mid laner to give him some utility in the little bits of skirmishes, but looks like Nunu going to keep picking that one up.
MLXG trying to line up a gank, will just go wide of the zap there. Very good positioning there in the brush. MLXG going to try and force it, has plenty of options, but wants to line up just the perfect cocoon.
Yeah, getting very greedy, wants to get a cocoon and then go into spider form. Doesn't want to have to go into spider form, then go for the gank there, and I don't know how it's going to work out.
Tail's positioning around his minions has been excellent, by the way. Expecting at least might be here and just staying out of range of skill shots. Damage though does come in. Woosh going to trade through, but Huey now going to join in. Teleports down as well here. But for King this time around, Lulu not able to join in. Tidal Wave comes through, but Sync Dream still gets Cocoon. Now Huey going to get locked up there as Sky charges in with the ultimate, but Tail still doing damage. Nunu is so tanky, and here comes Lucian trying to light the piercing light. Ulti goes wide as Woosh tumbles out of the way. Liam disengages with a quick monsoon, and King a massive 5-4v4, but everyone gets away.
Everyone gets away, but Lulu didn't have to join. The top lane was pushed up much further than the mid lane, so they will get some damage through here, probably even pick up a turret. So once again, movements in the favor of Gamtee.
And Tail now going to be the one to stay in the bottom side of the map. Keep farming away. Xiaohu going to clear out creeps as well. Lulu got the top turret in and amongst it also. Gamtee with a big advantage. 6-2 in kills, but maybe more importantly, 2 are up in dragons and 3-1 up in turrets.
Yeah, so they've just had the run of the objectives in this map, Pastry Time, and that's meant that they've got a massive gold lead. 5,000 at 16 minutes is absolutely huge, and they've got it in all the right places. The Jinx, she's 2-2-0. Lucian, 1-0-3. It's just been everywhere Vlad has it, and you wouldn't expect the Lucian lane to be the one that's ganking.
And you know what? That's been Gamtee's best looking play whenever they've played, no matter the team is, whether it's OMG or King, who's, sitting lower in the playoff spots. Their rotational play when they're on point is absolutely incredible. And sure, Taylor and Xiaohu especially have shown excellent mechanical play as well. But game 1 was all about King really just outclassing them in a lot of these lanes. And despite the standard lanes again, Gamtee did not let it get to them.
Yeah, exactly right. And this time they helped each other, I think, is a more important point. They recognized that Huey still wasn't maybe doing enough in the jungle, so they decided to start bringing their mid laner, start bringing their top laner to these fights and force the issue. Now they've got a Nunu who's at the sweet point of the game. He's got some points in all of his abilities, going to be scaling up nicely. Nunu, for someone that doesn't do much damage, adds so much utility with the rest of his kit when he gets levels that it's just going to mean pain.
Yeah, Zap coming in does not spot them off. Actually, MLXG hiding back in the brush once again here, but Tail sticking safe. Now is the Infinity Edge here to the Blade of the Ruin King for Wushin. Don't forget that Avarice Blade, the crit now going to start helping out as well.
Yeah, it certainly is. So synergize as well with the crit. Tail probably gave that one away by starting to dance in the middle of the lane. They knew that there was a ward there at that point. They will be able to clear out the pink as well. So Gamtee, after Woosh had a fantastic game 1, have taken over the bottom side of the map in game 2.
And that's what they've needed to do here, just get the Jinx through the healthy stages and start rotating potentially. Already got the outer turrets, but I can see Xiaohu moving in towards the top, and he went aggressive in his build. He's got a Bloodthirster now. Good Lance tag now. I mean, a great flash for Xiaohu to stop the ultimate, but not enough damage, unfortunately.
Yeah, not enough damage, but they were just trying to get enough down that they can't defend the turret. Good fast push coming through here from Gamtee. Range top, range mid laner, looking to get some damage in, now collapsing on Assassin.
Yeah, that's the biggest advantage that Bloodthirst Solution, especially with this Brutalizer, will give you lots of good turret pushing ability. And we normally see some aggressive rotations, but Gamtee already have the outer turret, so let's see what they do with the tier 2s.
Yeah, so they're trying to force the issue on some of the tier 2s. I still think that Huey's on Zero's camp stolen for this one.
Yep.
And he walks right up to MLXG.
Yeah, missing the ward there, I think. Just kind of warding next to him instead of in the brush, which was a bit odd. But Huey will get the extra gold there. Just from having a jungle item. Can't poach the Scuttle Crab, sadly. It's a neutral creep. One day, Huey will poach a minion this game.
Poor
I believe.
Crab. No one wants to own him.
No. As we are going to have Gamtee moving on top of the dragon. Plenty of damage here with the double AD, especially with the Eye Edge Jinx. And that dragon's real dead there. Third dragon going to go over to Gamtee, and King can't even look at it this time.
Yeah, and now the blue's been started up, was able to be secured there. So Huey is struggling, man. He's trying real hard, but he just can't get anything.
Still no poaching here. MLXG actually got away with the blue buff. And again, that's probably the target here with Assassin being health-based rather than mana-based here. Has gone back, got a Zhonya's now as well to go along with the Hex Tech and doing some more shopping. So King's scaling up here. You can see Sky struggling to get to the same point he was in the last game, I think. Had a very good Glacial Shroud plus another component and then got quickly into the Frozen Heart Sunfire Cape. This time, though, plenty of farm, but just not the same level of tankiness.
Yeah, exactly right. And the thing about Zion, he just builds so smoothly into armor because Frozen Heart has 20% cooldown reduction, and that's what his kit's really about. So throwing an AP top laner against him, sure, he does fine in the lane itself, but his item pathing is a little bit shaky because you do have to commit into some of that magic resist. So I like the fact that they're willing to throw the Lulu into the top lane.
Yeah, I like it a lot, and let me, almost with the Rabadons completed on top of the Morellonomicon, doesn't really need much in the way of items, does Lulu? Kind of those 2 items that we'll see soon are pretty much all Let Me really wants.
Yeah, exactly right. Throw in some cooldown boots, maybe even Lich Bane to start chunking out turrets. Woosh, he gets crit there and takes a lot of damage. Remember, he's not going to have to heal to keep himself healthy. He's still burning through pots, has to auto attack.
Yeah, life's still not bad, but any sort of extended trade should be won by the Rockets and their big crits at this stage. And Nami, we kind of keep talking about it, but quietly just one of the best supports for hyper carriers. She adds so much as Xiaohu coming now, assassin into the mid-game pool, does go down a good Hemo Plague there. Xiaohu's got to be real careful. Zon is there, will go through, Hemo Plague will dash away, but just missed time, does flash the piercing light. Xiaohu can't collect the kill. Oh, ult down there coming. It was Letme's down as well. Huey also joining in a lock up MLXG with a massive slow. Q will go to tail as Jinx gets the second. Letme still chasing on to Liam there, but Janna will be able to get away to safety.
And we mentioned Letme helping out his bottom lane. Another teleport used to get down there, and they're just trying to get this Jinx ahead. Now going to be able to come in, take out a tier 2 probably because of all the healing and shields going to come. And that's just fantastic news for Gamtee. Might even be able to grab mid as well.
Yeah, that's Let Me without the Rabadons as well. Will absolutely grab mid. The double AD comp from Gamtee. If it's powerful in one area, it's certainly pushing power.
Yeah, exactly right. The fast push has just come up huge this game. 10,000 gold the lead at only 22 minutes in. And I just love the change-up. This is a completely different strategy.
And again, they've contained the lanes, didn't fall behind too far in the early game. Even roamed to make sure everyone was safe in some of the more dangerous lanes here. Certainly helped Tail a bit more, knowing that they were likely going to come down and try and gank the lane. Sitting in the red buff, I think Huey finally poached a creep. Although maybe Xiaohu got it.
Yeah, Xiaohu got it, but I think the smite came through. So we'll give him one pastry time. Xiaohu, very greedy, tried to take that one for himself. So you really can't blame the Nunu. He's done the right thing. We'll give him the point.
He has there as Huey. Very tanky, actually. Almost 3,000 health there on the Nunu. And with the Cinderhawk scaling up, Aegis completed now as well. Everything going right here for Gamtee. Even starting to clear out wards. And King, you better ward Baron, because Gamtee do it so quickly.
Yeah, they certainly do. You throw in the fact Static Shiver's been finished off. Last Whisper, now the next item going to come through for Jinx. Probably the scariest 3-item carry in the game. She just absolutely tears through people. Throw in the fact that there's a Blood Boil. Wow, you don't want to be near her.
Oh, and Huey, Banner of Command is what he wants here. I don't think they need the help in sieging, but if they ever get the Baron buff on those minions, they'll be doing work.
Yeah, an interesting pickup coming through there. Locket would be very good because of the amount of magic damage coming out of Vladimir, not to mention Elise. Scion's got it all. A team shield could be useful, but apparently a bigger creep at this point in the game is what it's all about.
Thankfully still has the Aegis part of it, so we'll get that part of the effect anyway. I actually forgot that Banner built out of Aegis here. MLXG Flash Cocoon tail flashes though as the now Scion ulties, but just gives it up.
Yeah, and then just punches the ground in frustration. He really wanted that one, but wasn't able to get it.
Yeah, good attempt there from MLXG, but fast fingers there from Tail keeps himself. Xiaohu decimates the creep wave there with his ultimate. Gonna get on top of the turret there with the help of Huey, and it's melting quickly. About 30% damage done already. MLXG gets dove on Huey. Gonna try and zone them away. The Hemo Plague's down though as well. Assassin dives into his pool, but Letme's joined in once again. Assassin gonna struggle to get out of this one alive and does go down.
Yeah, and Letme has been huge for Xiaohu this game. That's twice that he's come in and saved his life. And we mentioned how good the turret is in these how good the culling is in these fast put situations. Just clear out the whole minion wave, get all the free time auto attacking. You see it's come up huge.
Yeah, base has been cracked now. Inhibitor will go down at 24 minutes here for Gamtee. Tail. Actually, it's not Tail, it's Xiaohu that's got the last Whisper done already. Just gone for massive damage to supplement Tail.
Yeah, gone for a very caster AD build. I'm surprised that it's actually the Zerk Greaves coming through, although I like it because late game, as soon as he grabs some attack speed, that translates very well into a late game build. So getting the best of both worlds out of his carry, and they're just going to tear through Baron.
Yeah, this Baron will not last very long here. Tail in minigun form, Blood Boil everywhere onto the Jinx as well. Sync Dream coming in, and goodbye Baron.
Yeah, Baron is completely gone, although the steal it might be on. No, it goes.
No smite for Sky this time. Can't steal it away. MLXG going to get chased down. Has been tagged there. Tidal Wave coming in. Good repel to keep him safe. Good creep there as well to make sure he's okay, but still chasing in. Whimsy, not a joke when it comes to speeding in.
Yeah, it certainly isn't. They haven't given up on it yet. They do manage to tag Whoosh.
Oh, that was cutie tagged off the super creep there as well, did Let Me. So Whoosh has to run away, and Gamtee don't care. There's a wave pushing him bot. They'll just rotate there.
Yeah, and I think it is the cannon creep that was
earlier
Banner of Command. It's like he can see the future pastry time.
Why did the tower hit that minion? That was very strong. I think it ended up in range, and then they applied the buff to it. So they're unfortunately not out of range of the turret like it would be normally, but ulti there from Yui turns everybody away. Now going to dive back in. Woosh, ulti's on top of Tail, trying to get him, but Mikhail's and he'll come in, and Woosh just gets wrecked there. Now Assassin going to dive in, but Zhao going to roam back. All they have to do is protect the Jinx. Let me somehow still alive. Ulti onto Assassin, who almost dies to a single rocket there by Jinx, and Gamtee still chasing.
Yeah, and now you see, wow.
Well, let me, what a play. Flashes through the CC, gets a double there on Lulu. Now Sky on top of him, going to go down, make it a triple there for that Let Me, and Lulu probably going to give the MVP this game. What a performance.
Let me play Lulu every game. That was bonkers pastry time. What a play coming out to finish off the Gamtee season, and that was completely huge.
That was awesome there for Let Me, and such a cool comp to see Gamtee run as well. Finally put it together, more aggressive, don't fall behind in these lanes, because I guess they're almost the antithesis to King, because King, great early game, struggle in the mid and late game to close things out. Gamtee can certainly struggle in the early stages, but man, do they close out games well.
Yeah, and they just put their foot down on the accelerator, never let up, and just want to hit on the Lulu one more time. They saw that it was going to be a sole tank pickup, Sion going to be the only real tanky member, and I just can't believe that they threw a Magic Dealer in there. Meant he couldn't get the Frozen Heart, couldn't get the Glacial Shroud. Just was so smart.
It was. I mean, it's just, again, so cool to see Gamtee put a cool comp together. And maybe for King, just a bit arrogant almost to run almost exactly the same comp for Woosh to take another losing Vayne lane, and this time he really got punished.
Yeah, he certainly did, and the Jinx, it just came up ahead. I'm really excited to see Jinx play. She just does laning phase so well, but late game, she's so scary.
Yeah, love her so much. We might see her in the second game, by the way. Name's about to play here in Royal. Their playoff dreams are on the line here against Snake, one of the scariest teams in the LPL. We'll take a quick break, but when we return, massive match incoming.